And I'd like to ask you about the game in 1996, where the Team Japan took on your Team USA. I think it was a very competitive game. I think it was 108 to 93 or things like that. So what do you remember about those games? It was very competitive. It was a very fun game, I think.
Well, it was very competitive, and their style was quite a bit different from ours. I mean, they were the early Steph Curry's launching threes from like half court. So I think it was an adjustment for us in playing that style of play, and they don't stop moving. So like I just remember perpetual motion and shooting threes. Yeah, the Japanese team.
Oh yeah, I remember playing, and they all look alike. I got so confused with my player. Listen, they shoot far and they move fast. To me, that style of play was harder to defend than the style that we used to. So they can shoot. They just play, man. Yeah, they're tough. They're tough. You can't fall asleep on them.
I'm laughing because, again, as Rebecca said, I'm 50, so I can barely remember what happened yesterday. Here's what I will say, and it's not necessarily about that particular game, is the Japanese players have always been talented. Their style of play, the way they play, and it takes some time to get used to learning how and understanding how to defend them. They're always very offensive minded. I think lots of times you tend to think because it's USA basketball and, you know, we have height and things like that, that it's going to be an easy task. But when you're talking about on the world stage, regardless of whether it's world championships, the Olympics, you always know that other countries are going to bring their best. They're going to give their best every single day, and you have to be ready to play. And the fact that it was such a high scoring game, I don't think it takes away from either team. I think what it says is that both teams are very offensive minded and played very little defense in that particular game. But both teams were very capable of scoring and putting up a lot of shots, obviously.
I don't remember that specific game, but I'll echo the fact I never liked playing against the Japanese teams, mostly because their 5 players, which is what I was defending, could step out and hit threes and drive. And that was not my strongest defensive skill set.
Well, it was almost like all 5 players are always interchangeable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not your typical 3 out, 2 in. It was more of like a 5 out, and you're having to, not just Rebecca, that's all of us, like you're having to learn to defend a different style of play. And so that's what I think has always kind of been one of the biggest challenges that we had to face in international competition.
I think I just remember whenever we played them is the fact that you had to be ready to play any position. You had to switch, and when you switch, you had to be in your stands. And I think the thing that amazed me was they would pass a ball, no one would be there, but as soon as the ball bounced, there were hands there to catch it. I was so in awe of how disciplined they were and how disciplined we were going to have to be if we were going to beat them. Understanding that your position was out the door. If you were a post, you were guard or center. If you wanted to be on the court, you had to play defense. And the country just made every other team in the Olympics be accountable of playing really good defense. And then when you had the ball on offense, you had to run your play to the tee. Precision was everything. So, I mean, that's what I remember.
And, you know, for me, it was a special game because I played in Japan for 3 years. And so I knew a couple of the girls. And I thought it was just a little extra special, fun.
Yes.
It was just great. It was great just being a part of it. Playing against Brazil, I had played against them before. It was Japan. Okay, playing against Japan. I played over there 2 years, and I know how quick they are, and they're so small, and it's very hard to guard them and stuff. That was my problem. So, but it was worth the while.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us, ladies. And to our media, thank you for joining us as well. And that will wrap up our pregame interviews for today. We will look for you again post-game. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was hard to hear.
It was very hard to hear because I thought you said Japan.